I'm going to spend the next 100 days transforming this ravine into the ultimate survival base, all in hardcore Minecraft. And of course, our adventure begins right here on day 1. And I gotta say, this is such an awesome location that we're starting out in, but we did spawn right on top of a tree, so let's get ourselves some wood. There we go, got ourselves some logs, so let's turn all of those into planks. And now that we have some planks, we can make a crafting table and also get some sticks. Gonna chuck this bad boy down, and you already know the drill, gonna make ourselves a wooden pickaxe. And very conveniently, there's some exposed stone right beside our crafting table, so let's pick some of this up. Now that we have some cobblestone, we can swing back to our crafting table and make ourselves a pickaxe. We'll also get a regular axe and a shovel. Can't forget about the sword, definitely gonna need that, and I'll also make ourselves a furnace, there we go. And I don't think I saw any ores near this stone, but I'll just do a little double check. Any coal, any iron, maybe not. Wait a minute, this thing is a little bit bigger. Okay, we got some coal. I guess I'll grab some coal, why not? Wait, is it really just one coal? Are you kidding me? What a scam, alright. Anything further down though? Oh my goodness, some iron off the rip, let's go. And at least this one is a huge vein, this is so much iron. 10 iron from one vein is absolutely awesome. I'm gonna make a few torches with that coal that we found, just so we can see a little bit better, but check this out, I spotted some copper as well as some coal. Both of these are gonna be super useful, so let's pick them up. Alrighty, but I think it's about time that we get out of this cave because I want to find some sheep so we can make a bed. And I'm really hoping we can find some soon because the sun is already getting kinda low. Oh man, I just came across a crazy looking cave. I really want to check this out, but we gotta find some sheep. And okay, yes, I just spotted some on the other side of this water. And there is quite a few of these guys, so we should easily be able to get enough wool. Just like that, got ourselves 3 wool, which is all that we need, so let's get ourselves a bed. However, a boring white bed is a little bit lame, so let's grab one of these dandelions, turn it into dye, and get ourselves a yellow bed. And the sun is already setting, so let's place down our furnace, get some of this mutton cooked up, and then we can place down our bed, and with that, we've survived the first day. Kicking off day 2, let's grab some of this cooked mutton and we can eat this to get back up to full hunger. And let's just take a look around for anything else useful. For example, the sugarcane, I'm definitely gonna grab that. Even got a crazy rare 4 tall sugarcane. Oh yeah, let's go. I really want to check out this nearby cave, but oh man, there's a lot of mobs. Not so tough out in the sun though, are you? Goodbye. Goodbye. Can't touch this, can't touch this. Oh wait, getting kind of close. Okay, you can touch, you can touch. That was a little bit embarrassing, but look at this. This guy dropped a baked potato. Oh man, creepers as well. Not what I want to be dealing with right now. Let's just be extra careful. We got this though. Oh my gosh, baby zombie. Let me lock in. Oh my gosh, wait, actually chill. Dude. No. Die. Okay, we're good. Oh my gosh, that was way too close. Alright, you know what? I'm getting scared now. I really just want to grab this iron and dip. There is a little bit more up here that I'm going to grab, but after this, I think it's really time to go. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going full greedy mode now. I want to get just a little bit more since we're super close to having enough for a full set of armor. I think we just need 6 more for a full set of armor. Can this one please be more than 4? And it's just 4. Okay, there is a little bit more in the ceiling there, but there is a zombie. No, how did you touch me? No, wait, I'm trolling. Never mind, we're good. Okay, we gotta get this iron and dip. This is getting weird. This seriously has to be more than 1 iron. Oh man, you're trolling me. I left all of our other food at our furnace. Okay, I'm gonna eat this baked potato. I'll eat this rotten flesh as well, and okay, that gets us a little bit of health at least. Oh man, I see that the sun is setting, but I just want this final iron. I'm gonna quickly grab it, and then we gotta get out of here. Oh man, yeah, look at that. It is nighttime. Why did I not bring my bed with me? Oh man, it's down there, and there's some mobs. This is not good. Alright, you know what? I'm going for it. Almost there. Come on, just go to sleep, please, before anything attacks us. Ah! No! No way. You have got to be kidding me. Spider, actually, chill. Spider, chill. Please. Okay, let's try this again. Go to sleep. Let's grab the rest of our food right away. I do not like being on 2 hearts at all. But now that we're safe and back up to full health, let's get this iron smelted up inside of our furnace. And while that does its thing, I'm just gonna grab ourselves a little bit of extra cobble. And that's just so that we can make ourselves a second furnace. Can chuck that down and then we can get our copper smelted up too. And while we wait for our copper and iron to smelt, let's stockpile a bunch of food since we're completely out. That took a little while, and by the looks of it, all of our copper and iron is ready now, so that's awesome. But anyways, let's use this iron that we nearly died trying to get to make ourselves a full set of armor. As for the copper, I'm gonna make a pick, an axe, and a shovel. It's only day 4 and we already have some really good gear as well as a bunch of food. We're making some great progress. But I think it's about time to pack up our little temporary campsite and go find the ravine where we're gonna build our base. I decided to start searching along the coastline, and this ended up being a pretty good idea since along the way I found a ton of visible ores on the surface like more iron, copper, and over a stack of coal. After mining all of that up, I continued searching, and on the morning of day 5 I found a super cool looking ravine that I think will be perfect for our base. My only concern is that it's kind of dark down there, and I really don't want monsters bothering us while we're trying to build our base, so I cut down a couple of nearby cherry trees, turned the wood into sticks, and then combined it with the coal we mined earlier to make a bunch of torches. With those in hand, I ran all around the ravine spamming torches in all of the dark areas. I really do not like how torch spam looks, so we'll have to swap this out with some nicer looking lighting later, but for now, survival is all that matters. Speaking of survival, there were some mobs I had to take out, which was a little bit scary, but it wasn't all bad since one of the mobs was a zombie villager. This guy could prove really useful since we can convert him back into a regular villager using a weakness potion and golden apples, so I got him into a boat so he doesn't despawn. That's going to be a future project though, since we don't have the resources to convert him yet. Anyway, I continued spamming torches for the rest of the day, and once I was satisfied, I placed down our bed, crafting table, and furnaces to officially make this ravine our home. I went ahead and smelted up the rest of our iron, and I just want to use this to make ourselves a better pickaxe. And while we're in crafting mode, I think it'd also be a good idea to get ourselves a shield, and I'll also make a couple of chests. Can then just chuck these down, and then we can get our inventory a little bit more organized. Now that our inventory is all nice and organized, I want to get to some building because this place is just so cool, I cannot wait. And it is a little bit difficult to access some of the different areas of the ravine right now, so the first thing that I want to build is a bridge. And I'm thinking we can just make it out of some campfires, so let's grab ourselves some logs. And now that we have a bit more wood in hand, we can turn some of that into sticks, and then we can make ourselves a bunch of campfires. And eventually I plan to have bridges all over the place, but for this first one, I want to make it just over here. So first things first, just gotta clear out a little bit of the stone. Alrighty, but let's start placing down our campfires now, and of course we're gonna have to use our shovel to extinguish these. And then I just want to extend these going all the way across this section of the ravine, ideally without setting myself on fire. Only got a few more to place in, but just like that, we're connected up to the other side. Just having this little bridge built up is already such a vibe, and I can only imagine what this ravine is going to look like once we completely transform it. And now that we have this new area unlocked with the help of our bridge, I want to clear out some space so we can build some animal pens. And luckily we do have an iron pick now, so hopefully this won't take too long. I feel like there should be enough space, at least for now. You know, we can always expand it later, but just so nothing spawns in here, let's place down some torches. I want to enclose our animal pen using some fences, but I pretty much used all of our wood earlier to make those campfires, so we gotta cut down a few more trees. And just like that, I got close to a stack of logs, so let's turn about half of this into planks. Then we can make a decent amount of sticks, and last but not least, the actual fences. And instead of using a typical gate to get inside this thing, let's grab some of our extra wool and turn that into carpet. And I mean, we do have some pink petals, so we might as well turn this into dye and dye our carpet pink. Alrighty, but that should be everything that we need, so let's actually get this fence in place. And then if we add our carpet right on top of this thing, we can easily jump over the fence. And I only plan on having cows and sheep in here, so let's divide this into 2 different sections. I do have just one more idea for this thing, just gotta grab some copper and some coal. Gonna turn a decent amount of this copper into nuggets, and then we can make some copper torches, and last but not least, some copper lanterns. All of these torches in the ravine are already driving me kinda crazy, so if we can at least get rid of the ones around our animal pen, that'd be pretty nice. Maybe I'll just do one like right here and right there, and maybe just a couple more at the back of this thing, but that should be good so we can get rid of these torches. That is looking a whole lot better, but I think the time has finally come to go get some animals. But I guess the question is, how do we lure animals into here, because we don't have any wheat and we also don't have enough string to make a lead. I think I have an idea. We're just going to need this wheat seed as well as these bones, and we're also going to need a hoe, but we can make that easy enough. My idea is to set up a small farm, and if we're gonna do that, we might as well grab the sugarcane too. This might not be the most ideal spot because it is kind of far away, but there is some water down here. You know what, now that we're down here, I kind of love this spot. It's almost like a hidden cove that you can only access from the ravine that is super cozy. Anyway, let's first just set up a simple sugarcane farm along the edge of the water. As for this wheat seed, I want to plant it right here, so let's get rid of this leaf litter and till the ground. Can then go ahead and plant this thing, but I did grab these bones, so let's turn that into bone meal, and then we can grow this thing up right away. And just like that, we have some wheat that we can use to lure some animals into the pens. And here we go, already got some sheep, come with me guys. Navigating these guys through the ravine is going to be easier said than done, but I think we can do it. I might just have to make like some temporary little bridges using some cobblestone, but we can get rid of it later. Come on guys, just gotta make it across the bridge, here we go. No! Why? Why? I can't even make this up. Every single one of our sheep just fell off this bridge and died. You have got to be kidding me. At least to make up for it a little bit, the block game just gave us a wandering trader. Let's see what this guy has. This guy's trades are really not that great, I gotta be honest, but he does have some leads we can steal, which is awesome. And I think the easiest way to get them is using some shears, but we only have 1 iron. The good thing is we do live in a ravine, so there's plenty of iron all around us. Gotta get it smelted up though, so let's just chuck that inside of our furnace. There we go, got ourselves 2 iron now, so we can make some shears. Alrighty, where did those llamas go? Okay, they're over here. And just like that, we got ourselves 2 leads. Hopefully these will make transporting the animals a little bit easier. Anyway, we got ourselves another sheep right here, and I just found him a friend, so let's try this again. Made it into the ravine again, but the tricky part is still ahead of us. Alright guys, all you gotta do is not walk off the edge of the bridge. It is really not that hard. I think the leads are helping. Come on guys, you're almost there, yes! That was so much harder than I thought it was gonna be, but we did it. Just gotta do that once more, this time with some cows. Alright guys, let's do this first try, no funny business. Come on, you're so close. Yes, we got these guys over. I'm super glad we have some animals in our pens now, this is awesome. The only thing is that we're gonna need a steady supply of food to breed these guys, and I think our little wheat farm over here isn't gonna quite cut it. While we're down here though, we should definitely harvest all of our sugarcane. And I'm for sure gonna expand this further along the edge of the water, as it's going to be super useful for getting an enchanting setup. When it comes to our wheat though, I want to try making a larger farm kind of in this area over here. Building this wheat farm is going to require a fair amount of digging, so I spent some time mining more iron in the surrounding caves. I had to fight off like 1.5 million mobs, but I ended up finding a second zombie villager, so I brought him over to the first one we found all the way back on day 5. If we're able to convert these guys, we can make a villager breeder and get as many villagers as we want. Anyway, we should focus on our wheat farm for now, so I mined a little bit more iron, smelted it up, and then made a few pickaxes. And with those in hand, I got straight to work mining out a large area for our farm. After digging it out, it was looking pretty scuffed, so I ran back over to our furnaces and started smelting up a couple of stacks of cobblestone. While waiting for that to do its thing, I used our leftover iron to make a shovel and 2 buckets. I filled the buckets with water and then used our new shovel to dig up some dirt that we can use to build our wheat farm. Now that we had some dirt, I got straight to work placing it in, and then I added the water sources. And to cover up all of the water sources, I used granite slabs and walls with lanterns on top. The stone was all done smelting at this point, so I grabbed it and got to work patching up any of the weird looking terrain that was left over from when we dug this thing out. Now that things were looking a little bit better, I turned all of the dirt into farmland. For some final details, I added some granite slabs to get up to this higher platform, and I also dotted some stone slabs around to make the shape of the cave a little bit more natural. With that taken care of, I used some gravel to add some texture variation to the stone. I was a little bit worried the plants still might not have enough light to grow, so just to be safe, I added even more lanterns. I'm feeling happy with this thing now though, so all that's left to do is fill it in with some seeds. Gotta be real though, 1 seed is probably not gonna cut it. I think we should have at least a little bit more down here, but we can check. I mean, there's a little bit down here. How many seeds are we gonna get from this? Like, yeah, 4. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna run around for a minute and break a bunch of the short grass and try to stockpile a bunch of seeds. After running around for 5 or so minutes, I managed to get close to half a stack of seeds, so let's plant these all. Once this grows, we can breed our animals, and that's really gonna help us progress. But while we wait for this to grow, I want to get to work on making more walkways and bridges, kind of like we did over here, because navigating this ravine at the moment is pretty tricky. That means we're going to need a lot more wood, so just in preparation, let's make ourselves, I don't know, maybe like 3 more axes. That should be good. And my first objective for this wood gathering is to get ourselves 3 stacks of oak logs. Luckily, there's a huge forest right above the ravine, so getting all of these should be relatively easy. I was just chopping down these trees and I noticed we can see our zombie villagers from up here, but the good thing is we are getting some apples from chopping down these trees, so that's going to be super helpful. Alrighty, I just hit our goal of 3 stacks of logs, but I feel kind of bad about tearing down this forest, so I'm going to replant a bunch of these trees. But with that taken care of, let's go hunt down the next wood type, and I can already see it way off in the distance. That's right, I'm after some spruce. That spruce forest is kind of far away though. Oh man, can I make this water? Yeah, I can make that, right? Okay, yeah, we're chilling. And just like that, we're already at the spruce forest, so let's get to chopping. I mean, come on, if we're making some walkways and stuff, you already know I'm going to be using some spruce. Oh yeah, and I do plan on using some shelves, so we might as well strip some of these logs as we go. Anyway, I'm going to chop down as many of these trees as I can, since I'll probably use this wood for future builds as well. I just spent the entire day cutting down trees, but check this out, we have over 5 stacks of spruce logs now, which should be plenty. Just before we head back to the base, I want to try getting some dark oak, and there should be some, yeah, there's some just over here. Really don't need like a whole lot of this stuff, I'll probably cut down just like 2 or 3 trees. Did we really go through all of our axes already? Yeah, we did. The good thing is I brought some iron with us, so we can easily make a new one. But with that sorted, I'm just going to cut down this final tree, and then I think we're going to be ready to head back to the base. I just started running back to the ravine, but look what I just spotted. I'm pretty sure this is one of those, what are they called? The trail ruins, I think. We can excavate this thing using a brush, and then we can get a bunch of cool loot. Unfortunately, to make a brush, we need some copper and a feather, and we don't have either of those on us right now. Not much we can do about that right now, so I wrote down the coordinates, and we can come back here after we build our walkways. But with that said, let's head back to the base. And now that we're back home and have a bunch of wood, let's do some crafting. First off, I'll just turn a bunch of these spruce logs into planks, and then I'm going to make a crazy amount of trapdoors. We need a lot of these things. We're also going to need a bunch of slabs, and last but not least, for the spruce materials, I'm just going to make a few shelves. The very final thing I want to make is more campfires, but we're kind of low on coal right now, so let's hunt down a little bit more. I think there was like a skeleton. Oh my, wait, 3 skeletons, don't go there, don't go, no. That actually gave me a heart attack. Oh man, I've been trying so hard to light up these caves, but yeah, I'm not doing a good enough job, I guess. Alrighty, but I just found more coal over here in a safer part of the cave, so let's mine this up. We got enough coal now though, so let's get ourselves a bunch of campfires. We should have everything that we need now for these walkways, so let's make the first one right here, and I think I'll just come out about 5 blocks, and then we can just keep expanding this over in this direction, and I'll simply just stop at this wall right here. That's already making it so much easier to walk around here, but let's also extend this in the other direction. And I think it's about time that we tear down this temporary cobblestone. It's a bit of an eyesore. And with that out of the way, we can extend our walkway even further. And just to make this look a little bit cleaner, I'll get rid of that block and do some stone here too. That makes this area look so much better, so I'm going to tear out these blocks right here and we can do the same thing. The only thing I don't love about this walkway right now is that it doesn't feel very supported, so I want to build some pillars. Right here should be a good spot for the first one, and then maybe I'll just leave like a 4-block gap and we can do the next one right here. We can repeat that a few more times, so 4-block gap and the next one will go there, 1, 2, 3, 4, next one right here. As for the pillars themselves, let's just keep it simple and do some oak logs, but I want to make sure these go all the way down to the very bottom. This next one is going to be a super tall pillar. Where is it? Like all the way here? Oh, my legs. I got the rest of the pillars in place, and check that out. That looks so cool. To make this thing a little bit safer though, let's add a railing using trapdoors. I got the rest of the railing in place, and for just one final detail, let's add some lanterns on top of the pillars. This thing is looking even better now, but we're not quite done yet, as there's still more walkways that I want to make. And for this next one, let's switch it up a little bit by making the entire thing out of trapdoors. I still want to build even more walkways, but I did notice all of our wheat is ready, so let's harvest this. And the great news is we got a bunch of seeds back, so hopefully we can get most of this filled in. We might even have enough to get it completely filled in already. Wait, oh my goodness, wait, 1 seed left. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, check that out though. Our farm is all filled in now and looking good. But now that we have some wheat, we can swing back to our animal pens and we can finally breed our sheep and our cows. And I just had an idea for this bridge that connects us over to our animal pens. We could probably make it look a little bit fancier by doing some trapdoors. Pretty simple technique, but it just makes it look like it has a little bit more structure. And I really do like the look of this campfire style bridge, so I was thinking we can make another one further down in the ravine. And maybe just at this height would be good so we can easily get over these stalagmites. So let's just extend these all the way across. Might be a little bit easier said than done. There we go. And you already know the drill, got to extinguish these using our shovel. Already made it to the other side, just got to get the rest of these in place. And our shovel is kind of low, hopefully it doesn't break, and it broke. No worries, I think we still have a little bit of iron left over. We have 3. Well, that's fine because all we need is 1. But now that we have a shovel, let's get the rest of these put out. And just like we did with this bridge, I want to add some trapdoors, so maybe we can just do one like right here and right here. The other side's going to be a little bit trickier. I might have to do some, okay, maybe don't jump on the pointy stuff. Anyway, let's do a couple more trapdoors right here, and that should be good. I really like how this newest bridge turned out, but what I like even more is that we have all these different walkways that are kind of like interconnected. That is exactly the vibe that I'm going for. And the crazy part is we're not even done yet because I still want to build another one over here. And I'm going to go for a very similar building technique as our other ones, so let's get this in place. Of course it's raining now, but as you can see we can easily walk up this way, and then my idea is to do an enchanting area on this side and an area for smelting over here. Also, I tried a little building technique over here, which was to mix some campfires along with these slabs, and it gives the whole walkway like a worn down look, which I really like. Now that I'm looking at this, I might even add a couple more, maybe like one right there and one right here. Just gotta place those in, of course, and then use our shovel to extinguish them. Also, this is a really good like entry and exit point to our ravine, and of course there's like a bunch of mobs. I think it's actually a thunderstorm right now, so I should probably go to sleep. But yeah, as you can see, this is a really good spot to enter the base. I did want to make this transition a little bit smoother, so let's first just tear out some of these trapdoors, and then I'll replace those with some granite slabs. That makes this much smoother, but let's also tear out this stone. And with that out of the way, let's fill it back in with a combination of granite and dripstone blocks. We're nearly done with the walkways now, but there still is just one more that I want to make kinda higher up in the ravine. Since we have all this vertical space, we might as well use it. And I think a ladder will fit this space the best, but we still gotta make some room for it. And to make this ladder look a little bit nicer, I'm gonna first do some stripped dark oak logs, and then on that we can place the actual ladders. With that said, I got the rest of the ladder in place, and then I built a few small platforms out of spruce wood, which will eventually take us to some future builds. I did have one small build idea that we could add right now, and that's a waterfall, so we just gotta get rid of this slab right here. Then we can simply just take our ladder up to this first platform, there we go. And if we place some water in this hole right here, it should flow nicely down to the very bottom. I'd say it looks even better from down here, you know, a nice little water feature that flows all the way down to the bottom of the ravine. But now that all the walkways are in place, I want to go back to that trail ruin we found a few days ago and try to excavate it. That means we're going to need some brushes, so let's grab this copper and these feathers. And then if we combine those with some sticks, we can get the actual brushes. And just quickly before we head back to the trail ruin, I want to take care of a few chores, first of which is harvesting our wheat. But now that we have some wheat, let's swing back to our animal pen once again, and you already guessed it, we're going to breed the sheep and the cows. The cows are especially important because I want to get an enchanting table soon. And that reminds me, we should also harvest all of our sugarcane. That is going to be super important. I think that's all of our chores done, but we are kind of low on food right now, so let's just swing by our crafting table and turn the rest of our wheat into bread. But with that taken care of, let's head back to these coordinates that we wrote down earlier and check out the trail ruin. A couple minutes of navigating later, and I found it, so I think we should just, start digging and see what we can find. And we need to keep our eye out for suspicious gravel like this, because if we brush it, we can get some special loot like diamonds, or pottery shards, or in our case, some white dye. And check this out, we found our second suspicious gravel. What even is that? Was that a piece of wheat? Oh, a dead bush. Alrighty, but let's just carefully keep... Oh no, I just broke one. Yeah, that's why we gotta be careful. It's sometimes hard to spot the suspicious gravel, so we gotta keep our eyes peeled. It'd be super fun to dig all around one of these and see exactly what it looks like. That'd be so cool. What I'm really on the hunt for is the suspicious gravel, and I just spotted another one, so let's see what we can get. Is that a glass pane? Okay. A light blue stained glass pane, exactly what I wanted. Alright, I just found two more. What do we have this time? Oh my goodness, wait, an armor trim, let's go. Dude, I don't think I've ever had this armor trim before. The Wayfinder armor trim, that is so cool. I'm actually so hyped about that. I will definitely be adding it to our armor once we get some diamond stuff. I'd also really like to find some pottery shards. Wait, no, is this really one off the rip? Okay, right as I said that, we got a pottery shard. Oh yeah, look at that. Respecting the remnants, and which one is this? The burn pottery shard, that is so cool. Here we go, another suspicious gravel, and is that another pottery shard? Let's go. This one is called the Danger Pottery Shard, and I don't think I've ever found this one before. More sus gravel. What do we have this time? A wooden hoe, I think. Yeah, that is trash. These structures are cool, but I feel like for how much effort it is to dig up, some of the loot that you get is just so random. Is that a diamond? Oh, I thought that was a diamond at first. I think it's just some dye. And I did just find one right here, and is that an emerald? Yeah, it is. Let's go. And I found even more suspicious gravel with, is that a candle? Yeah, a candle. I could keep digging this thing up forever, but I'm just going to check out these final two suspicious gravel, and then I'm going to get out of here. And by the looks of it, we got a beetroot seed and another pottery shard. And it was another friend one. Okay, we have two friends now. Let's go. This structure was super cool to check out, but I think it's time that we head back home. And like an idiot, I did not bring my bed with me, and it's nighttime. Can I please just get some wool? Oh man, I need more sheep. I want to make a bed. Oh my goodness, there's a bunch of mobs. Okay, here we go. There's another sheep though. Please, I need wool. Come on, I just need one more wool. Boop. I'm a little bit scared sleeping on the ground. Let's just pillar up. Never slept on top of a pillar, but there's, always a first for everything. But anyways, let's make ourselves a bed. Can then check that down, and good night. Now that it's morning, it should be safer to travel, so let's get out of here. And now that we're here, I think the first thing that we should do is upgrade our storage room, because the more items that we're accumulating, the harder it's getting to store everything. Especially after looting that trail ruin, we're really running out of space. I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do for the time being, so let's just place down a couple more chests and unload all of our items. And this right here is definitely the best stuff that we got from that trail ruin, so we'll have to use it later. Alrighty, but let's get this area cleaned up before it gets any worse, and the first thing I want to do is clear out a little bit more space. I think this right here should be plenty of space, so the next thing I want to build is a floor in line with our walkway. And I want to build this floor using some deep slate, so it's time to face our fears and head further down into the cave. And I mean, it'd also be nice if we can find some diamonds, because it's day 39 and we still haven't found any. Alrighty, but let's just keep heading further down. A little bit of a water bucket clutch, kind of gaming. Let me go 2 for 2, watch this. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm cracked at the game. Alright, there's a skeleton with an enchanted bow though. Oh my goodness, a couple of skeletons. And now there's some creepers. Oh my goodness, wait, a lot of creepers. Look at this, that is terrifying. You can just barely see a creeper in between that dripstone. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's take care of this guy before he jump scares us. I don't want any funny business. And even though we are on the hunt for deep slate and diamonds, I will pick up any iron that I see because this stuff is always useful. I just found the most satisfying thing ever. It's like a perfect staircase that was created from this water and the lava. That is so cool. We're finally getting down into deep slate levels, but look at that, there's a witch. And I'm poisoned, you know what, I'm just gonna run by. Okay, yeah, we're good. I just spotted a little, oh my gosh, a little dungeon over here. I think it's a zombie one. Let's just get rid of this guy, goodbye. Spam some torches around and then we should be good. And we got some leather, some rotten flesh, some string, our very first redstone, some gold, a golden apple, which is awesome, and some wheat. I don't know how there's more zombies in here, but let's take these guys out and then check out the second chest. More rotten flesh, more wheat, and we also got some beetroot seeds and some melon seeds. On top of that, a little bit of gunpowder, some coal, and some horse armor. Ah! Where did that guy come from? Oh my goodness. This looks like a really good part of the cave. It goes super far down. Okay, never mind. There's deep dark. We might have to risk it though, because look what I just spotted over here, our very first diamonds. And we got at least 2. I would love to get 3 though. Yes, we got 3. We can make a pick now. Gonna dig around this a little bit to make sure that's all it was, but that's a really good start. And you know what? I'm just gonna go right on ahead and use these diamonds to make a pickaxe, since that'll speed up our mining process. Alrighty, but with this better pick in hand, let's just take a little look around and see if we can find any more diamonds. I was just trying to see a little bit in this deep dark, but okay, yeah, forget that. Oh my goodness, okay, I want out of here. I'm sorry. Let's find a different part of the cave, forget that. Oh, are you kidding me? It's more deep dark over here too. Okay, here we go, I found at least 1 more diamond. It'd be really nice if we could get more than 1, and it's just 1. That's alright, let's keep looking around, I'm sure we can find more. This deep dark though is kind of driving me crazy. Ah, it's so annoying. I just came across a spider spawner, let's take out these spiders, goodbye. Nothing too crazy, but I'll take it. And our inventory is already overflowing, but we did get some leather and some strings. Let's make some bundles. Can throw some stuff in these and that'll help out a lot. Alright, but let's carry on. Ooh, wait, a carrot. Oh my gosh, a carrot. I love having a bunch of different crops, that's awesome. And wait a minute, did that second guy just drop a potato too? Did we seriously just get a carrot and a potato back to back? That is crazy. Alright, let's not get too distracted though. There's a lot of mobs down here, we gotta be careful. Just came across our first lapis, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up. That's gonna be super useful for enchanting. Even more gold over here, I'll take that, please and thank you. We are getting a lot of good stuff, but what I really want to find is more diamonds. I think we need to go even further down to find more diamonds, like we're only at Y-10 right now, which is really not that low. Okay, here we go, just spotted some in the ceiling. I don't want it to burn in the lava though, so let's convert all of this into obsidian. Should be safe to mine now, and can we please get more than 1? Dude, what is up with these 1 veins, are you kidding me? Oh wait, there's another one hiding back here, let's go. Okay, 2 diamonds at least. I mean, at least we have enough diamonds to make an enchanting table now, so that's pretty good. And that also reminds me, while we're here, we should grab some obsidian, because we're also going to need that for our enchanting table. And while we're at it, let's also grab some extra so we can make another portal too. And look what I just spotted, more diamonds. Please be more than 1. Dude, what are up with these small veins? Come on. We are starving out here. I need some frickin' diamonds. Come on. Oh, well, let's just carry on and keep mining anything useful that we see. We got more redstone and gold over here, so I'll pick this up. Got ourselves more lapis lazuli over here. I'll take it. Leave me alone, zombie, please. Oh my gosh, I do not like this. And there's another skeleton now, too. Not today, buddy. So many skeletons right now. Like, just leave me alone, guys. I'm trying to mine. I was kind of struggling to find diamonds in that part of the cave, so I came up a little bit higher, and there's a bunch of iron up here, so I'm going to pick up all of this. Like, there's iron right here, there's some right here, as well as over here, and there's also a zombie. Can you please just go, dude? Just get out of here. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll just pick up all of this iron, and then we can try our luck at getting more diamonds later. Oh yeah, I guess I should grab a little bit of deep slate since we're going to need that for our base, but after that we should be good to go. I made it back home and organized all of our items, and here's a look at everything that we got. I do wish we got a few more diamonds, but we got so many other ores I really can't complain. We also got some horse armor, as well as a bunch of deep slate and obsidian. Before we get completely carried away, let's harvest all of our wheat again, and then we can plant our newly obtained carrot and potato, and then I'll just fill the rest back in with our wheat seeds. And there we go, all filled in again. And I need to make sure that I breed all our animals again. I have not been doing the best job with this. And if we're breeding our animals, that also means we should harvest all of our sugarcane again. But with those chores taken care of, let's turn about a stack of this deep slate into polished deep slate. And I want to use this stuff to build a floor at this height right here. All of our stuff is going to be in the way though, this is going to be a little bit annoying. The furnaces and stuff won't be too bad to move, but the chests are completely full of items, so that kinda sucks. Well, I do plan on having storage on this side of the room, so we might as well build that first so we can transfer everything over. I got that dug out, so let's just continue on with our deep slate right here. And then for some lighting, let's place down some torches. And if we cover these up with trapdoors, the light can still shine through, so that'll help keep this area bright. This is already looking pretty good, but I plan on having chests here, so just so we can open them, we gotta tear out the ceiling. We can patch this up with slabs though, and we'll still be able to open them. Speaking of chests, we're gonna need 40 of those, but I feel like we should have enough wood. Let's just get ourselves a few more planks, and then how many is this gonna get us? Oh, okay, wait, more than enough. I don't want to waste our wood and make too many, so let's just go like that, and boom, 40 chests. If my math was right, we should be able to fill this entire section. And it's looking like my math was exactly perfect, there we go. To help us organize our items, as well as make this area look a little bit nicer, let's do some shelves. And now that we have this set up, I'm going to get to work on transferring all of our items from these temporary chests into our actual storage room. That took me pretty much an entire day, but as you can see, this is all cleaned up and moved inside of our chests. And basically the way that I did this is like these two items on the shelves correlate to these two chests, and these two correlate to these ones. So for example, if I want dirt, I can just go to that one and boom, there's our dirt. If I want, I don't know, our diamonds, yeah, got all of our ores right here. Dark oak would be like right here, you get the idea. But anyways, what we need right now is the rest of our deep slate so that we can finally finish up this floor. And now that the floor is in place, let's keep building up this room, beginning with a pillar in this corner right here. And I'll do the exact same thing on this side, so just some oak logs. And then to fill in the back of this, let's just keep it simple and do some cherry planks. Just gonna quickly tear out this stone since it does not look the best, and once again, we can replace that with some deep slate. To frame this out a little bit more, let's do some trapdoors at the very top. And then let's also make a shelf, maybe at this height right here. Moving over to this other wall, let's add more pillars. I think I'll do one right about here. And then I'll leave a 2-block gap and do yet another pillar. And to make it the same as this other side, let's just do more shelves right about here. And I'll do the exact same thing right here, more shelves. For this final section, let's just fill it in with dark oak planks, but I'll inset it 1 block for a bit more depth. This room is already looking so much better, but the next thing that I want to add is a carpet right in the center, so let's grab our shears. And I would like to use some red carpet, so let's try to hunt down some red flowers. Come on, there's gotta be some red flowers around here somewhere. And here we go, I just found a bunch of rose bushes, we'll definitely have enough dye after this. Alrighty, but now that we have this stuff, let's get ourselves a bunch of red dye, and then we can just dye all of our sheep red, and last but not least, get ourselves a bunch of wool. And I just realized these guys don't have any grass, so they're not going to be able to get their wool back, but we'll deal with that later. While we are here though, we should definitely take the chance to breed our cows again. But with that taken care of, let's grab this wool here and turn about like half of it into carpet. But just before we place this carpet in, let's tear out some of this deep slate. And then we can patch the bottom of this in with a random block, doesn't really matter which one. But with that in place, let's fill this entire hole with torches. Now we can finally add our carpet and the light will shine through these, keeping this room nice and bright. I still want to add more details in here, but I just realized it's day 50, so to celebrate making it to the halfway point in this challenge, let's go check in on my cats. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I am always using my 2 cats, Munchie and Mittens, to guilt trip you into liking the video. Seriously though, I really do appreciate you taking the time to like the video and maybe subscribing if you haven't already, as it goes such a long way in supporting the channel. Getting back to Minecraft, I want to keep working on our storage room, beginning by tearing out some of this polished deep slate. And if we fill this back in with our regular cobbled deep slate, I think it'll add some nice texture variation. I think that looks pretty good, but moving along, I want to create our bedroom right here, so let's just start off by doing some ladders on this pillar. And I think a bunk bed design of sorts could be cool, so let's do a couple of trapdoors, and then how do I do this? If I go like that, we can do a bed right on top. At the very bottom, I want to do a couple of bookshelves, so to make those, we're going to need some planks. I can just grab some spruce ones. And then what else? We're also going to need some sugar cane for some paper, so I'll grab that. Not exactly sure if I have enough leather, not quite. The good thing is we have quite a few cows now, I think we can sacrifice a couple. I'm just going to breed them up first though, but with that taken care of, let's just go, goodbye. Oh, goodbye. And goodbye to you too. All we should need is 6 leather. Okay, we only have 5. We gotta kill 1 more cow. There we go, got 6. And I just realized we don't even have a crafting table in our storage rooms. Let's just do one right here. But let's go right on ahead and make ourselves some paper, and then we can combine that with our leather like this to get some books. All we gotta do now is combine those with some planks, and we got ourselves some bookshelves. But let's chuck those at the very bottom right here, and then we can do our bed, and that's pretty much our bunk bed design complete. And it is dark out right now, so where do I want to sleep? Eeny, meeny, miny, yeah, top bunk, Mo. Good night. Ow, kind of smacked my head waking up, but okay, that worked. Moving along, I want to detail this wall right here because our crafting table is looking a little bit lonely. There's a few other crafting blocks that I want to make, for example, a smithing table. We can also make a fletching table, which is, you know, kind of useless, but I think it'll look cool. I'll also make a grindstone, there we go, as well as a stone cutter, that is a super important one. I'm also going to sacrifice one of our diamonds to make a jukebox. And last but not least, let's make ourselves a cartography table. All we gotta do now is place this in, so let's do our fletching table, and then maybe our smithing table, over here our jukebox, and our cartography table. On top of the shelf, let's do our stone cutter, and then maybe our grindstone just over here. For one final detail on the shelf, I want to add some flower pots, but I don't have any bricks, so let's go get some. And I think the easiest spot to get some is going to be in this little pond over here. Is there any clay? Okay, there's some over here. And I'm a pro gamer, so I brought a door with me. Let's just place that down and we can easily breathe. And we really don't need a whole lot of flower pots. I think this will be enough clay. Before we smelt this up though, we are by our sugarcane farm, so we might as well harvest this. Alrighty, but let's get this clay smelted up, and that just reminded me we don't really have a furnace in here, so let's just grab one from this chest right here. For sure gotta make a proper smelting area soon, but for now let's just place this down right here and get this clay smelted into bricks. And while that does its thing, let's detail the ceiling of our storage room by first tearing out the stone. And if we simply just fill this back in with some polished andesite, I think it'll look pretty cool. And I think it'd look even cooler if we swapped out this very center part with glowstone, but we'll worry about that later. As for now, let's grab these bricks, since they're all ready. And you know what, this is as good a time as any to use these pottery shards, so let's grab these. But before we use those, let's just make ourselves a regular flower pot. And then I think if we go like this, and then use one of our pottery shards, we can get a really cool decorated pot. For the rest of these, let's combine all four, since I'm pretty sure if you do, you get a special advancement. But let's place these down and see what they look like. Oh man, I love that little creeper one, that is so cute. But let's also place down our regular flower pot, and inside of this one, I'll do a dark oak sapling. I'll probably decorate this storage room a little bit more later, but for now I'm happy to call it done. As I was mentioning before, we really need a proper place to do all of our smelting, and I was thinking we could build it just over here. This right here should be plenty of space, so let's start detailing by first placing in a proper floor, and for this one, let's use some polished tuff. Next up, let's do some shelves on this side right here to make this area look a little bit more supported, and we can do the same exact thing on this side, more shelves. Now we can add the actual furnaces, and I'll just do a couple of the blast furnaces at the very bottom. Right above that, let's do 4 regular furnaces, and then at the very top, a couple of smokers. Can do the same exact thing on this other side, a couple of blast furnaces, 4 regular furnaces, and a couple of smokers. I also want to add a small lava farm in there so we have easy access to fuel, so kind of ironically, I've been just smelting some iron over here, you know, not even using our proper smelting area, but yeah, we got some iron now. And it's going to be a pretty small lava farm, so I think all we need is 5 cauldrons, there we go. And while we're crafting, I'm also going to make a few copper trapdoors. Last but not least, let's just grab some dripstone blocks and our pointed dripstone. That should be everything we need, so let's start off by doing a row of cauldrons at the very bottom, and then I'm going to skip 1 block and do a row of our dripstone blocks, and underneath this thing, let's do our pointed dripstone. And our lava is going to go at the very top, so just to enclose it, let's do some copper trapdoors. And even though we live in a straight up ravine, I don't think there's any close by lava pools, so I'm going to try to find one on the surface. And that turned out to be a good call because I already found some, so let's fill up all of our buckets. And then we can place in all of the lava, close these trapdoors, and that's the farm done. But for just a bit more detail, I wanted to add some trapdoors on the ceiling to make it look a little bit more reinforced. And I thought it'd also be cool to tear out some of this regular dirt and replace it with coarse dirt for a bit of texture variation. I might do a little bit more over here, just tear that out, and coarse dirt, and coarse dirt. I don't want to go too overboard, something just like that is probably fine, but for just one final detail, let's do a couple of slabs so we can more easily walk up this. But with that, I think our smelting area is done. I'm really happy with how this turned out. These days are absolutely flying by, so let's get started on the next build, which is going to be an enchanting room over here. Really don't need that much room for an enchanting table, I think something just like this will work. But with that cleared out, let's go grab all the blocks we're going to need. The first thing I want to grab is wool and carpet, but we have lots left over from before. I also want to make some red concrete powder, so let's grab some of this red dye. And to make concrete powder, we need gravel and sand, and we do have lots of gravel, but only 1 piece of sand. I guess that means it's time to head down into our little cove once again to get more sand. And there's some sand over here that's pretty easy to get and out of the way of all of our other stuff, so I'll just grab this. And you know what, while we're down here, I'm going to harvest all of our sugarcane since we're going to need this to make all of our bookshelves. Anyway, now that we have more sand, let's swing by our crafting table and make ourselves some red concrete powder. Now that we have this stuff, let's combine our concrete powder and wool together to create a really cool rug that our enchanting table can sit on top of. This already looks pretty good, but we can take it one step further by also dotting some regular carpet around. But it's about time that we make all of our bookshelves, so let's harvest all of our wheat again. Also, I should let you know that I have been expanding our potatoes and carrots, so we're slowly getting more of these. But of course, the whole reason that I harvested our farms in the first place was so that we could breed our cows again. I maybe should have made this pen a little bit bigger, this looks insane. But now that we have an absurd amount of cows, let's go on a slaughtering spree because we need a bunch of leather to make our bookshelves. Well, at least this new generation of cows will have a little bit more room, but as for us, we got over a stack of leather and that's all we need. We're just about ready to make our bookshelves, but before we do that, let's grab these buckets, and I'll also grab any ores we need to smelt, which I guess is just this gold and this iron. But then we can head over to our smelting area and get ourselves a bunch of fuel. And I'm gonna use this to get our ore smelted up, so our gold there, and we can do our iron in this one. And then I'll also get this raw beef cooked up from killing all of the cows, which will be a really good food source. But with that taken care of, let's get to work on making our bookshelves. So let's just grab the rest of our sugarcane. And then we're also going to need a decent amount of wood. Sure, we can use some dark oak. As for our enchanting table, we're going to need a couple of diamonds. And we're also going to need, where's our obsidian? Right here. Alright, but let's get to crafting by first making a bunch of paper, and then we can combine that with our leather to get some books. Now we can make our enchanting table, which is super exciting, and then I'll turn the rest of these into bookshelves. Now that we have this stuff, let's place it in, beginning with a couple of rows of bookshelves at the very back. And then we can do a few more on this side right here, just like this. And I'll hide our very final one in this corner right here. I do not want to mess this up. Oh, okay, I got it. But then if we place down our enchanting table, that should get us level 30 enchants, and yes it does. And something that's always good to have around an enchanting table is a crafting table and chest, so let's just do that over here. And for a bit more decoration, let's do a couple of flower pots on top of these shelves, and inside some cherry saplings. The final thing I want to add to this area is some lanterns, so let's grab the ores out of our blast furnaces. And that also reminds me we should grab our steak, we have so much food now. Alrighty, but let's turn this iron that we got from our blast furnaces into our nuggets, and then we can get ourselves a bunch of lanterns. And I think I'll just throw one on top of the ceiling, and maybe one more on top of our bookshelves. And I just realized I forgot to add lanterns on top of these pillars, so let's do that right now. Just got a couple more to place in, and that is looking so much better. And I think I said these lanterns were going to be the final detail, but I had a few more ideas, first of which was to do some shelves right here. I feel like that just helps our enchanting area and farm feel a little bit more separated. For this other idea that I had, we're just going to need some leaves, but we can get those easy enough. And I just wanted to dot these along this stony area to help break up all of the gray. You know what? I really like that. It makes our base feel a lot more alive. I could detail this thing all day, but the very final thing I'm going to do is just add a couple of slabs to the ceiling to make this stone a little bit smoother. But now that our enchanting room is nice and detailed, let's try our luck at some actual enchanting. And I do wish we had something better to enchant, but we really don't have that many diamonds right now, so okay, let's risk it for the biscuit. Guaranteed unbreaking 3, please something extra. Oh my gosh, dude, that is so bad. I was really hoping we'd get fortune, since that'd help out a lot with getting more diamonds, since at the moment we don't have like a single one. I guess that's not entirely true, we do have one diamond displayed on our shelf, but yeah, we're kinda broke. Alright, you know what, we do have 30 levels, so I'm gonna throw our diamond pickaxe in here and disenchant it. Also, I should just bring this thing over to our enchanting area, that makes a bit more sense. Anyway, I'm just going to chuck that maybe right here, and then let's try enchanting this again. And what do we have this time? Efficiency 4, that's pretty good. I'm going to try it, really hoping we can get fortune as well. Ah, silk touch, I mean, that's good, but yeah, no, you know what, I'll take it, I'll take it. Now that I'm thinking about it, an easy way for us to get guaranteed fortune would be converting one of these zombie villagers into a librarian. Alright, but to convert these guys, we're going to need some potions, so it's time to go to the Nether. And I already have the perfect spot picked out for our Nether portal, which is this area right here. Like, come on, you can't tell me this is not the perfect spot. And this should be pretty easy to put together because we previously mined a bunch of obsidian. I do want to decorate it though, so let's grab this dripstone and these dripstone blocks. What else are we gonna need? Maybe just some andesite as well as some regular stone. We could also decorate it with some ores now that we have silk touch, so let's grab some of this copper. And I also want to get a little bit of granite, but there's a frickin' boner here. Can you... Oh, wait, my aim! Okay, wait, actually lock in. Okay, wait, I'm trolling. How are you still not dead? Okay, we're good. We should be safe enough to mine this granite now, which I think is the last block that we need, and then we can get to building. And I am way too excited to see what this thing is going to look like, so let's get to it. I tried to stick to the natural shape of the ravine, but I textured it up and made it a little bit bigger so the portal could easily be hidden inside. I think this is my favorite thing that we've built so far. This looks so cool. The only thing is that I didn't add a way to get up there yet, but I think we can just add a ladder maybe like right here. Just gotta place down the actual ladders just like that. And then I think if we keep digging up, we'll eventually hit the portal. Just gotta extend our ladders all the way up, but now we can use this thing to access the portal. Before we actually head into the Nether, let's gear up a little bit. The first thing I want to make is a bow, that's always good to have. And we already do have some arrows, but let's just make a few more. And last but not least, let's get ourselves some golden boots. Gonna check those on so we're a little bit safer from piglins, but with that, we should be ready to go. I'm kinda nervous going to the Nether without diamond armor, but I think we can do it. Alright, but no more stalling, it's time to head up our ladder and go into the Nether. And of course, always the worst biome in the basalt. Hang on, if we're in this biome, I definitely need some blocks to bridge with. We should have a bunch of cobblestone though. Yeah, we have lots. I'll just grab some of this and we're good to go. It should be a little bit easier to navigate this biome now, but let's go find a fortress. This has got to be like one of my worst nether spawns of all time. Like, where are we supposed to go? Hang on, watch this pro gamer move. Gonna place down a boat and okay, I'm sending it. Please just land on something. Oh my goodness, okay, we're good. I'm gonna do that once more to try to get down to here. So let's just place down our boat. It might be a little bit easier to see like this. Okay, yeah, that's way easier. Let's just not fall into the lava. Okay, we're good. Why am I actually like good at the game right now? This is kind of crazy. Oh, and look what I just spotted. There's some brown mushrooms over here. We're gonna need these to make our potions. It's a really good thing we went back for more blocks or this would have been even more painful. Oh my goodness, wait, there's a fortress. There's a fortress. Yes, dude, let's go. Okay, there is a magma over here though. Just, oh, okay, wait, I'm scared. I'm actually scared. Okay, no, we're good. We seriously cannot get pushed into the lava right now. That's going to be really bad. At least we are getting some magma cream from these guys, so we can make some fire resistance potions if we want to. Oh man, the fortress is like so close yet so far. How do we get over there? I think I'll try bridging since we do have quite a few blocks, but if we hear a ghast, we've got to get out of here. All right, let's see. How close are we now? Okay, we are getting closer. Just to ensure we're going to have enough blocks, let's turn some of our cobblestone into slabs. Another risk right now is a blaze shooting us off our bridge, but I think I have an idea. If I just turn my render distance all the way down, they shouldn't be able to see us. This looks so ominous and trippy now. I feel so disoriented, but we know where we're going. Let's keep bridging. One block. Oh, I hear blazes. Oh my gosh, dude, that was way too close. Oh my goodness, you're kidding me. Okay, so much for that plan, I guess. I'm turning the render distance back up. I want to be able to see what's shooting us. Okay, I can see these blazes now. Let's use our bow, try to take this guy out. Oh, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Oh, I hit him. Hang on, new plan. Let's try to get to the actual land. Okay, there we go. My plan is to try to get an ender pearl and then use that to get to the fortress. So let's just make ourselves a little hidey hole. All we gotta do now is find an enderman. Okay, there's one right there. Let's just stare him in the eyes and then run over to our hidey hole. All right, here this guy is. Please drop an ender pearl. Yes, there we go. I seriously cannot mess up this throw, but I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, I made it. And there's like a bunch of wither skeletons around. I'm just gonna block some of this off. Not today, buddy. I want to try getting further into the fortress because it's way too exposed out here. Okay, yeah, this is better, a little bit more sheltered. And I found a decent spot to farm blazes. It is gonna be a little bit sketchy, but if we use our shield, we should be all right. Don't set me on fire, that's all that I ask. Oh, did some of my... Oh, I think some of my armor just broke. Yeah, my helmet totally just broke, but the good thing is I did bring some extra iron with us, so we can make a new one. Let's chuck that back on and then try to fight these blazes before too many of them spawn. And they're like right behind our wall. This is so scary. No, dude. I do not like this. This is so sketchy, and we haven't even gotten a blaze rod yet. Are you kidding me? Hang on, I see one there. Let me grab it. Okay, I got it. And I'm on fire again. Time to hide. There's so many of them. There's so many. Hang on, I just want one more blaze rod, please, please. Yes, okay, I got two. I got two. No. Please. Please. Okay, we're okay. That was way too close, but you know what? We did get a couple of blaze rods, which should be all that we need to do some brewing, so let's try to find some nether wart. Yeah, I'm not going to try to fight any more blazes until we have some diamond armor or some fire resistance potions. But let's just focus on finding some nether wart and some soul sand. That is kind of cursed. Over here looks pretty promising, and yes, there it is. I see some nether wart. Let's go right on ahead and pick this all up. Let's go. And I'll of course grab the stuff on this side as well. There we go, I got it all. All we gotta do now is make it back to our bridge without dying. You know what? I'm just going for it. Please, nothing push me off. Oh man, we are so close. Okay, I'm out of here. Oh man, that was seriously so stressful. I don't think I'm gonna be going back to a fortress without diamond armor anytime soon. Just gotta make it back to our portal now, but we know where we're going, so it shouldn't be too bad. Along the way, I do want to get some glowstone, and there's some pretty easy stuff to get over here. Wait, can you not shoot? Wait, what just happened? I'm not taking any risks. I'm taking out all of these guys. Should be safe enough now, so let's pick up this glowstone. And with that in hand, no more distractions, let's go straight back to the portal. It should be just somewhere over here. Yeah, there it is. Might need to do our boat trick one more time. Let's just hop in there and head down to the portal. Nailed it. But finally, we can go back home. I am so tired of this place. I have never been so happy to be back in our ravine. But let's get a good night's rest and then get back to the grind. I'm feeling refreshed on this rainy day 72 morning, but let's get to work by first tearing out this stone in the ceiling. And then let's fill this back in with the glowstone we just got in the nether. I think that's a nice addition to our storage room, but anyways, let's go ahead and use one of these blaze rods to make ourselves a brewing stand. And now that we have this thing, we can finally make some weakness potions and turn our zombie villagers into regular villagers. But if we're gonna make some potions, we should make a proper cozy brewing house. With that said, let's grab some materials like some oak logs, and I'll also grab a bunch of dark oak too. I might also grab some leaves as well as some lanterns, and I'll also grab a bunch of deep slate to use for the roof. We should use our stonecutter though to turn some of this into stairs, and I'll also get ourselves a few slabs. And I think it'd be nice to add a window to this thing, so let's grab some sand. And then over at our smelting area once again, we can grab some lava and convert this into glass. There we go, got ourselves some glass. And let's just run over to our crafting table here and convert this into glass panes. I think that should be everything that we need, and I already have a spot picked out for this higher up in the ravine, so let's get to building. This build is really straightforward to get in place, just a simple A-frame house built right into the side of the ravine. It's really cool seeing a ravine getting filled up with more and more builds, but let's get to work on the interior. As for getting into the brewing house, we just gotta take this ladder up to this first platform, and then over here there's a door. But let's keep detailing, beginning with some deep slate in this corner right here. I'll do the same exact thing on this side, just a row of deep slate. For the rest of the ceiling, let's just keep it simple and do some spruce slabs. With that in place, let's fill in the rest of this back wall just using some dark oak planks. And I'm thinking a nice cherry wood floor will contrast the dark oak perfectly. I left a small section open at the very back though, so that we can fill it in with soul sand and make ourselves a little nether wart farm. Right above this, let's create a shelf, and on top for some decoration, let's do a lantern and a flower pot with a poppy in it. As for these other empty walls, let's start off by doing some upside down deep slate stairs, just like this. I'll do the same thing on this side as well, so upside down stair, 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 and stair. And I don't even know if I can tear out this stone. No, I can't. Let's just patch that back up, and then maybe I'll do some shelves here instead. That should look pretty good. At least this stone right here should be safe to remove. Yeah, we're good. And I'll just fill this all back in with some dark oak, but at the very bottom we can do a couple of barrels for some storage. We still need a crafting table, so maybe let's just do that right here. As for this final ugly stone wall, we should be safe to tear this whole thing out. And once again, I'm just going to fill the whole thing in with dark oak. With that in place, we can create yet another shelf. And on top of this one, let's do a lantern, a flower pot with a sapling in it, and of course, our brewing stand. Right below this thing, let's do some shelves, which might be a little bit easier said than done. Okay, there we go. But if we simply just fill this in with some water, we can use it to make water bottles. For just one final detail, let's add a painting to this wall right here, but with that, this brewing house is done. Now that our brewing house is complete, let's go grab all the ingredients we need to make some weakness potions, so we can finally convert our zombie villagers. We really don't need a whole lot to make these. We can just start off by grabbing some gunpowder and spider eyes. We're also going to need some sugar, so let's just grab some sugar cane, and then we can turn that into the actual sugar. And then we already got brown mushrooms in the nether, so let's just combine that with our sugar and spider eye to get a fermented spider eye. Last but not least, we just need some bottles, so let's smelt more sand. There we go, got 3 glass. So if we just go bing bong boom, we can get ourselves some bottles. Back in our brewing house, let's fill this up with some water. And I'll just quickly turn this blaze rod into blaze powder, but then we can throw that as well as our water bottles and fermented spider eye into our brewing stand to get some weakness potions. And just like that, we got ourselves 3 potions of weakness, but let's add some gunpowder to turn these into splash potions. And easy as that, we got ourselves 3 splash potions of weakness. And I almost forgot, we're gonna need some golden apples, but okay, we have 19 gold, and I should have some apples, yeah, right here. So let's go right on ahead and get ourselves 2 golden apples. That was a bit of a grind to say the least, but finally we can convert our zombie villagers. However, these guys are kind of far away from our base, so I might try to transport them while they're still zombies. I think it should be relatively easy to transport them since they'll just chase us, and we don't have to worry about them burning in the sun since we're in a cave. I want to make sure we're nice and prepared though, so let's just make ourselves a little box. Throw some torches in here just to ensure nothing's gonna spawn. And if we add some trapdoors to this ledge right here, the zombies should walk right into the hole. And just so we don't get lost, I marked out the path we gotta take with some copper torches, so I think we're ready to go. I'm still kind of nervous for some reason, but let's turn hitboxes on so we can break these boats a little bit easier and do this thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just gonna do one zombie at a time. That'll probably be a little bit easier. Come with me, Mr. Zombie, this way. Almost at the box, and this guy should drop right in. Alright, there we go, first guy's trapped. Just gotta do that one more time, so let's break this boat. And then come with me, Mr. Zombie. No. Now is not the time for Creeper. Now is not the time for Creeper, please. Creeper, no. Okay, we're good. Come on, down into the hole, please. Yes. And before I forget, I think it's a good idea to block this off so no other monsters bother us. Alright, but the time has finally come. Let's splash these guys with a weakness potion, and you get a golden apple, and so do you. I think it's going to take 5 or so minutes for these guys to convert back into regular villagers, but as you can see, we are super close to our base. It's just around the corner. So while we wait for those guys to convert back to normal, let's grab everything we're going to need to make a villager breeder. The first thing we need is some wool so we can make some beds, but I just realized our sheep pen still doesn't have any grass in it, so these guys haven't grown their wool back. The good thing is we do have silk touch on our pickaxe now, so we can easily get some grass blocks. Oh, and look at that, we just got the advancement zombie doctor. I think our villagers are ready. I just want to double check these guys are safe and doing alright before we get completely carried away. I feel like they should be, they should be fine. Yeah, we're good. And we have a bunch of grass blocks now, so it's just going to be a matter of tearing out this stone and replacing it with the grass. That might be easier said than done though, this is going to be kind of annoying. That was pretty tricky, but I got this all converted into grass, and as you can see, some of the sheep are already growing their wool back. So let's go right on ahead and shear these guys and get ourselves a bunch of wool. And now that we have that, we can make ourselves a bunch of beds. And since we have 8 beds, we should be able to get 8 villagers, which is quite a few. Alright, but all we gotta do now is give these guys a bunch of food, and hopefully they're gonna breed. And yes, look at that, I'm seeing a bunch of hearts, that's a very good sign. And there he is, the little baby villager, let's go. The main reason I got villagers in the first place was so that we could get a fortune book, so we gotta make a lectern. While we're at it though, I am gonna make a fletching table, since I think a really easy way to get emeralds is gonna be selling sticks. And if we're gonna sell some sticks, let's go ahead and get ourselves a bunch of wood. Then we can turn all of that into planks, and last but not least, a bunch of sticks. I feel like there's a pretty good chance we're going to need even more of these later, so let's grab ourselves a bunch of spruce saplings. We can then plant a ton of these large 2x2 trees and cut them down later if we need to. Check that out, one of them has already grown, but let's go do some trading. Which one of you guys wants to be a fletcher? Let's see. I guess this guy right here does, but he's not selling sticks, so we gotta break that and place it back down. Are you selling sticks this time? You are. Let's get ourselves a bunch of emeralds. That is awesome, but let's place down our lectern and convert this other villager into a librarian. And of course what we're after is fortune 3, so we're probably gonna have to break this and place it back down a bunch of times until we get what we need. And this could definitely take a little while, so I'm gonna lock in and I'll check back in with you once I get it. That took forever, but check this out, this guy's finally selling a fortune 3 book, so let's buy one before he changes his mind. I just realized a small issue, we don't have an anvil right now, so we have no way to add this fortune book to our pick. And I don't really think we have a whole lot of iron left. Yeah, we have 5. Alright, not a whole lot we can do about that, we gotta go find more iron. We shouldn't need a whole lot more though, just around 30, so let me lock in and get all that we need. I ended up getting 36 iron, so let's go ahead and get this smelted. With that in hand, we can make a few blocks of iron and the actual anvil. I'm gonna place this down beside our grindstone, but finally we can add this fortune 3 book to our pickaxe. I want to use this thing to mine enough diamonds for a full set of tools and armor, but before we get to that, let's harvest all of our crops that are ready. And because our pickaxe does have fortune on it, we should yield way more crops than usual. Alright, but let's give all of this new food to our villagers, and hopefully these guys will breed more. And check that out, there's already more hearts, so I think that was a good call. While our villager breeder is hard at work, let's head further into the caves and try to find more diamonds. Running into a bunch of mobs, which is a little bit annoying, not exactly what I want. And even though we are on the hunt for diamonds, I think it'd be a good idea to stock up on some other ores too. Oh my goodness, there's an invisible spider over here, that is terrifying, please leave me alone. Why is there so many mobs here? Can this creeper just blow them up? Yes, let's go. Not today? Oh, don't like that. And get out of here. Here we go, finally I found more diamonds. Just gotta take out a couple of mobs first. Should be safe enough now. Let's see how many we can get with our fortune pick. Okay, 1 extra we got, I'll take it I guess. I just came across a geode, so we might as well pick up some of these blocks so we have the chance. We should also grab all of the gold for golden apples, because I'm going to try to convert our villagers again to make their trades super cheap. I think we finally found where all of the diamonds were hiding, like we have some here, we have some over there, we have even more in the ceiling, and there's even more hiding over here. We're going to be so rich after this. Anyways, let's lock in and mine all of these up. I want to see how many we can get. I kind of forgot how broken fortune is, like look at this, we almost have 2 stacks of diamonds already. And that's going to be way more than enough, so let's head back to the base. Now that we're back home, let's grab ourselves a bunch of fuel, and then we can start smelting all of our gold and iron in our blast furnaces. And while that does its thing, let's use these diamonds that we got to finally make ourselves some better gear. First off, let's make ourselves a diamond sword, and then I'll also make a shovel, an axe, as well as a pickaxe. That takes care of the tools, so let's make ourselves a helmet, a chest plate, some leggings, and some boots. That took us long enough, but we're finally dripped out in some shiny blue armor. And since we still do have quite a few diamonds, I want to try adding this wayfinder trim to all of our armor. I'm pretty sure to duplicate this armor trim we need some terracotta, so let's first grab ourselves some clay blocks. And then we can just chuck that into one of our furnaces. There we go, got ourselves some terracotta. Now that we have this, we just got to do our terracotta right in the center and our armor trim at the top, and then if we surround the rest with diamonds, we can duplicate the trim. And I was thinking we could do a red highlight, so let's grab some redstone. And we already have a smithing table, so let's go right on ahead and add this trim to all of our armor. And yes, dude, check that out, that looks so nice. Alright, but we're quickly running out of days, so let's check in on our villagers again, and hopefully we have at least a few more, and oh my gosh, wait, we have so many. We also have a golem who I don't really want in here, so let's just keep our distance and take this guy out. And I'm also going to get rid of all of the beds. I think we have enough villagers. Now that we have more space to work with, let's get all the villagers into some boats. And just like that, all 8 of our villagers are neatly stored in some boats. Since we still have 2 weakness potions, I want to convert our villagers into zombies again and then cure them so we can get some super cheap trades. All we need is some golden apples, so let's grab some regular ones. And we smelted all of our ores earlier, so we should have, yeah, a bunch of gold. So let's just combine our apples and gold together to get a bunch of golden apples. All we gotta do now is lure a zombie into our villager pit to convert these guys. And I feel like we should be able to find a zombie relatively easy, and it is dark out right now, so that might help. Here we go, found a zombie, just gotta lure him all the way back to the villagers. Come on, zombie, can you please drop right into the pit, please? Get in there, yes! I think he's still trying to come after me though, so let's just go around the corner and hide for a second. Alright, let's check back in on these guys, and okay, wait, they're all zombie villagers, let's go. Thank you for your help, regular zombie, but I no longer need you. Alrighty, but the time has come, let's hit these guys with a weakness potion, and then do all of our golden apples. Ow, don't hit me. And just like that, all the zombie villagers are converting back to normal. While waiting for those guys to convert, let's get to work on setting up a proper trading hall. And I already have everything that we're going to need, so let's just get started by building up a couple of pillars. We can connect up the tops of them using some tough blocks, and then we can create a roof of sorts by combining some tough brick stairs and regular tough stairs. That's already looking pretty good, but to kind of frame out this doorway, let's do a couple of upside down stairs. And we can take it one step further by also doing a couple of shelves on either side. For the door itself, let's use some cherry wood, and we can cover up this little gap at the top using some trapdoors. For one final detail, I'm going to do a couple of lanterns, but that right there is the entrance of our trading hall complete. Not a whole lot of space inside right now though, so let's dig this out. After digging out some space, I got a little bit carried away, so let me give you a tour. I ended up using a bunch of the blocks that we got from that geode, and it turned out super cool. And I would have created some stalls on this side too, but unfortunately I ran into our storage room. That's also why the ceiling is kind of low, because I kept bumping into our wheat farm, but you know what, I think this works. Anyway, to help us transfer the villagers over into the trading hall, let's grab this iron that we were smelting before. Can then make ourselves a couple of minecarts as well as some rails. Alrighty, but as you can see, all of our villagers are cured, so all we gotta do now is place down some rails and move these guys over. That right there is villager number 1, villager number 2, this guy's number 3, number 4, that's 5, number 6, and that guy there is number 7. And I just realized I only made 7 stalls, but we have 8 villagers, so I gotta make this thing a little bit bigger. Luckily for us, it's a super simple design, so it'll only take a second. And just like that, all 8 villagers are now in place. Let's just quickly get our minecart back and clean up these rails. I'll patch up this wall too, just using some dark oak, but that right there is our villager hall complete. Our villagers need some professions, so let's make ourselves a couple more fletching tables as well as some lecterns. But let's turn our first 4 villagers into librarians, our last guy of course being the one that's selling the Fortune 3 book. And we already do have 1 fletcher, but I'm gonna make 2 more. As for our 8th and final villager, he can stay unemployed for now. But now that we have a bunch of fletchers, I want to trade sticks with them, so let's try enchanting our axe so we can cut down a bunch of trees. We have guaranteed unbreaking. I'm really hoping we also get some efficiency, and efficiency 4, unbreaking 3, that is a really good axe. And if you remember, we planted a bunch of spruce trees before, so let's cut them down. And I am super happy we have a better axe now, this is going to be so much faster. Anyway, I'm just going to lock in for a few minutes and cut down all of these trees. It took the entire day to cut down all of the trees, but check this out, we have a bunch of logs that we can use for sticks now. And that's exactly what I'm going to do next, so let's make ourselves some planks and then the actual sticks. It's your time to shine now, Fletchers, I want a bunch of emeralds. Alrighty, but now that our emerald situation is taken care of, let's get to work on re-rolling these librarian trades. The 3 trades that I'm after are Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and Mending. That took way too long, but I finally just got one of them, a Mending trade for 1 emerald. Alright, on to the next one, we're looking for Protection 4 or Unbreaking 3. Oh man, this one also took forever, but there we go, an Unbreaking 3 trade for also just 1 emerald. Alright, just a bit more re-rolling to do to get this Protection 4 book. I finally got Protection 4, it is a little bit more expensive at 23 emeralds, but I'm locking it in. And I do want to get a bunch of these, so let's first just buy ourselves a couple of bookshelves. Can then just place those down and break them to get a few more books. I'll also quickly sell more sticks to get even more emeralds. Alright, but with that, let's swing back to our librarian and buy 3 more of these Protection 4 books. And I'm also gonna buy 3 more of these Unbreaking 3 books. And last but not least, I'll get more Mending books, and that way we can add all these enchants to our armor. And I should mention that the whole reason that I'm trying to get some good armor is so that we can fight the Ender Dragon. And because that is my plan, we should also get ourselves a better bow. I kind of want Infinity because we don't have that many arrows, but I'll risk it for the biscuit. Oh man, that is so bad. Okay, whatever. Let's also try enchanting our boots though. I want Feather Falling, and Feather Falling 2 is, yeah, sure, good enough. We're still at level 30, so maybe let's try our sword as well. Smite 4. I'm not going to lock in Smite, instead I'm going to disenchant our bow. And of course it's just Unbreaking 3 again, but I'll lock that in, and okay, at least this time we got Power 3 as well. I still do want to enchant our sword, so let's just block off a couple of those and see what we can get. I'm seeing Sharpness 2, not the best in the world, but I'll lock it in. Alrighty, but let's swing over to our anvil and use these books we got. I'm gonna prioritize our protection books, and if we have levels left over, we can add the other ones. Our boots are probably gonna be a little bit more expensive. Wait, can I not add those? Oh yeah, I can't add that because this has fire protection 1. Okay, whatever. Alright, you know what? I think this is good enough for fighting the Ender Dragon, and once we get more XP, we can add the rest of our books. Oh yeah, and before I forget, we did get some amethyst clusters earlier, so let's add some of these to our enchanting area. Maybe I'll dot a few around our smelting area as well. I think that'll look pretty good. And maybe just a few more right beside our storage room. And we still do have a couple left, so maybe I'll add them up here. Maybe just like one here and one here, that should be good. I will admit though, this area right here is looking a little bit basic still, so maybe I'll add a couple of quick builds. My first idea is a sugarcane farm, so let's just clear out some space for it. This right here should be good, but let's make it look a little bit more natural by doing a few slabs. And since we do have some dark oak here from our brewing house, let's tear out all of this stone. And then we can just patch this back in with dark oak so things are a bit more consistent. We should also add a little bit of lighting, and I'll just do some lanterns. But now it's time to make the actual sugarcane farms. Let's just clear out a bit more space. And then we can just fill in this very back row using some water. And then we can add a row of dirt right beside that. And last but not least, we can plant the actual sugarcane. It's a super simple farm, but I think it looks pretty nice. We still have one more platform higher up that doesn't have a single build, so we gotta fix that. And this should already be enough space because I just want to do a little armor display here. With that said, let's make ourselves a few armor stands. And then using a bunch of our extra ores, we can make 4 different sets of armor. All we gotta do now is place in our armor stands. And of course, add the actual armor. I think these new builds look the best from the ground. They turned out really good. Okay, but it's already day 99 and we still need to get more ender pearls and blaze rods, so we gotta lock in. For getting the blaze rods, let's make our life a little bit easier by making some fire resistance potions. Just gotta grab some nether wart, but then we can head over to our brewing stand and throw our bottles in there as well as the nether wart. That should get us some awkward potions, so the next step is to add some magma cream. There we go, 3 potions of fire resistance, but to make these last longer, we can add some redstone. Okay, perfect. Now each of these are gonna last 8 minutes. Alrighty, but there's no time to waste, so let's head straight into the nether. The good thing is we know exactly where the fortress is, so this should be pretty easy. And you know what, I'm just gonna drink a fire resistance potion right away before anything shoots us. There is quite a few wither skeletons, but we have feather falling, so I'm just gonna jump over all of them. Let's go. Oh man, there's even more here. Can I just push them into the lava? There we go. I'll take this guy out normally. Goodbye. Goodbye to you too. Okay, I think the spawner should be just behind this wall. Yeah, here we go. These guys are so easy to kill now that we have fire resistance. This is awesome. We're already at 10 blaze rods, so I'm just going to take out this final guy and then we should be good to go. All we gotta do is make it back to our bridge now. Alright, I safely made it back to our bridge. Let's get out of here. And there we go. There's the portal. Let's go home. We still need to get ender pearls to be able to make eyes of ender, but that's exactly why I left our last villager unemployed. Because we can use one of our extra blaze rods to make a brewing stand, and then we can use this to turn our villager into a cleric, and he should sell us some ender pearls. We do have to level him up, but we have lots of extra emeralds, so it shouldn't be an issue. I think he should be selling them now. Yeah, ender pearls. Alrighty, let's just buy ourselves a bunch of them. And it is already day 100, so let's just go ahead and turn these blaze rods into blaze powder, and then we can combine those with our ender pearls to get some eyes of ender. Made it over to a high point, so let's throw our first eye, and okay, we're going in this direction. Alrighty, but I'm just gonna keep running and throwing eyes until I think I know where the stronghold is. Okay, I'm pretty confident it should be somewhere over here, and I'm really hoping the portal has at least one eye in it because one of ours did break. I'm sure we can find like an enderman or something if we need to, but let's just keep digging down. Okay, wait, here we go. Wait a minute, are we right at the library? That is crazy. And there's a spawner right here. I have never seen that before. I'll quickly check out these chests, but it's already day 100. We gotta find the portal. Yeah, you know what? No distractions. Let's find this thing. I'm seeing some silverfish. That's probably a good sign. Yeah, here it is. I'm just breaking the spawner. I don't care. All right, but please tell me this has an eye, and it does not have an eye. You gotta be kidding me. We gotta find an ender pearl. Maybe this chest over here will have one. No way. Okay, wait. That is so clutch. Alright, let's go right on ahead and make ourselves the eye that we're missing. And then we can light this portal up. Oh man, things are getting real, but we can do this. I should have made more arrows, but whatever. Let's send it. And here we go. Let's do this. We of course got to start by taking out the crystals, but we don't have that many arrows, so my aim has to be on point. At least I got that first one. Let's try to get this second one. Okay, let's go. Come on, 3 for 3. Yes, look at that. Can I go 4 for 4? Oh, dude, wait. I'm cracked. Okay, this one has a cage on it, so let's just pillar up. And then boop. A lot of these other pillars are pretty tall, so I'm just going to go up to the top again. Let's just block this off a little bit and go boop. Can try out my aim from up here. Got it. Can probably get this one too. Yes, I can. And I think I can get that one as well. Let's try. Yes, let's go. I think that one in the cage is the very final one. Alright, here we go. That's all the crystals gone. I can try shooting the dragon, but we don't have that many arrows, so I'll probably have to wait for her to perch. And here we go. She's perching. Let's go in. Let's go in. Alright, big damage time. Big damage time. Big damage. That was the shortest perch ever. What? Only 9 more arrows. Come on. My aim has to be perfect. What is that? Alright, watch this. Boom. I'm trash. The very final arrow. Can I hit it? No. Now that we have no arrows, the only way to deal damage is to wait for her to perch. I'm going in again. Maybe this time let's go for the head. Let's go. Okay. Wait, watch this. I'm not... Oh, come on. Just need like one more perch and I think we can do it. This is it. This is it. Come on. So close. So close. Yes. Let's go, dude. Let's go. We did it. Let's go. For sure, let's grab all this XP. And I also want to grab the egg, so let's just smack that. Dig a little hole underneath, do a torch, break that one, and we can get it. Alrighty, but with that, let's go back home. Now that we're back home and have a bunch of XP, I just want to quickly add the rest of these books to our armor. And I think it is cheaper to combine the books first, so let's just do that. But now we can add Unbreaking 3 and Mending to all of our armor. I'm gonna chuck that back on, but dude, that is some awesome gear. I'm also gonna put our egg on display, but with that, we've officially survived all 100 days. As always, if you want to explore this world for yourself, you can get the world download on my Patreon or by joining as a tier 2 member right here on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, happy building, and I'll see all of you in the next video.